Okay, so this is a map of our campus, and we are going to offer a curbside drop-off and pickup for parents. If you have a full-day camp, drop-off will take place between 8:45 and 9:15, and pickup will take place between 3:15 and 3:45. If you have a half-day camp and it's in the morning, drop-off takes place between 8:45 and 9:15, and then parents will pick up between 12 and 12:15. If you have an afternoon-only camp, drop-off for that program will take place between 12:15 and 12:30, and then kids will be picked up between 3:15 and 3:45. All of the drop-off and pickups will take place along the North Road. And so parents will enter from Pierce Street and they will go straight. The specialty camp drop-off and pickup will take place on the right-hand side of the road. This section right here, the 4D section on the map. I'm going to add one more person into the room here. All right, we had somebody that just joined us, and so I'm going to go ahead and repeat that real quickly. All drop-off and pickup is going to take place along the North Road, and so parents are going to drive in from Pierce Street and they're going to go straight. The specialty camp drop-off and pickup will take place on the right in this section that is labeled 4D. It'll be set up similarly to when you go to the airport and you drop off at United or American. They are just going to look for your sign and they will pull up. When they stop their car, there will be a sign that will ask them to text a phone number, and they will text this phone number, and then once they do that, they will receive a form with a set of self-screening questions. Once they respond to those questions, they will receive a QR code. And so they will show the attendant. You won't have to worry about confirming the information on their phone. You'll just be standing at your sign, but we will have attendants that will be checking to make sure that they have answered all of the self-screening questions correctly. And then if they do that, then the child will be allowed to get out of the car. We will take their temperatures, and then we will give them a wristband so that we are able to see that their temperature was taken that morning. Once all of that has happened, we are going to help them get some hand sanitizer on their hands. We had hoped to be able to provide a hand washing station, but we were not able to get those. Hopefully that will happen at some point in the summer. But we will give each child a little squirt of hand sanitizer, and then we will get them over to your sign. Now you will be waiting at your sign, and you just need to make sure that the kids are physically distanced at your sign, and your job during that time will be to just kind of keep them occupied and entertained and until you have everybody that is registered for your program. We will give you a roster so you'll know how many kids are in your program. Kim should have already, I think, sent them out for specialty camps. And so if you could just spend some time really looking at the medical information, if there's any behavioral information, it'll be in there. If there's any specific medical instructions, like an EpiPen or anything like that, the nurse will probably have reached out to you by now. Then once you have all of the kids that are signed in, you can go ahead and go to your campus location. And if it's a full day program, we will email you and let you know what time you can pick up your SAC lunch. I don't think there's anybody here that has a full day program except for Carol. And Carol, we can just check in about that a little bit later. I think everybody else is a half-day program. So for the people that have half-day programs, you do not have any lunchtime responsibilities. What you will do is you will, at about 12:15, bring your kids back to this location and stand at your sign, and the same thing will happen. The parents will drive up. They will drive up to your sign. We will make sure the kids get some hand sanitizer before they leave, and then the parents are going to do the same thing. They're going to text a phone number, and that's the process that they will go through to sign their child out. So you're not really going to have any contact with the parents. You're just going to be at your sign, you know, kind of supervising the kids during that time. The day camp color groups are going to sign in and sign out on the other side of the road, and so everybody's able to really kind of spread out. If you have an afternoon program, I think, like I said, you should be down in this area no later than 12:15 to start signing kids in and out. And I guess if you have a morning and let me think about that. If you have a morning and an afternoon program, you're pretty much going to just need to bring your lunch and eat it down here, because it's going to be a quick turnaround. And so I would bring your own lunch with you, and you'll come down here at 12 o'clock. You'll sign those kids out from the morning session, and then you can have your lunch out here. If you need a little break, we can help you with that. And then starting at 12:15, you'll want to be there waiting for the afternoon kids to arrive. Same thing, we will take care of screening them and taking their temperature. You'll just need to kind of entertain and supervise the kids while you're waiting for all of them to be dropped off. And then that will probably take place until about 12:35, I'd say 12:40 maybe. And then you can go back to your location, or you can go to your classroom location. In the afternoon at 3 o'clock, we will provide popsicles for all campers. For those of you who have worked with us before, we will pass out the popsicles exactly the same way that we have this building 3. We'll set up a little table in front of the building, and that'll be kind of the popsicle location. And so you can walk with your kids, you can walk up to the table, pick up your bag of popsicles, and then you can go somewhere, and as long as the kids are physically distanced, so 6 feet apart from each other, you can sit and enjoy the popsicles, and then you'll come down here and get ready for the parent pickup, which will start at 3:15. And again, we will take care of getting the kids in the car. You'll just need to kind of supervise your kids, make sure they're physically distanced. I think it's going to be really important. Parents are going to be watching to make sure that we are physically distancing kids. It's so important. We have to. We just can't, take any chances. In addition to that, we need to make sure that we're all wearing masks and that the kids are wearing masks. And so I think that's going to be the primary focus all day long, and then also, during this drop-off and pickup time. We would like for all teachers who are teaching the morning program to be here on Monday by 8 o'clock. Just so we have time to make sure that everybody knows where they're standing, how the drop-off is going to go. It's our first day. It's a lot of new routines. And so if everybody can be here by 8 o'clock, we would appreciate it. I'm going to send out a self-screening form with which you can every day just answer a few questions about any symptoms that you might be experiencing. If you could take your temperature at home, that would be fantastic. If you don't have a thermometer, we will have a thermometer available. It'll be in this building 10, which is where our office is located, room 123, and you can come in and we can help you take your temperature, and then you can complete that form. But we need to do that every day, and so I'll email that to you so you have that, and you can just plan on filling that out every day. Are there any questions about drop-off and pickup?
When you said to arrive by 8, did you mean at the pickup or drop-off location at 8?
Yes, good question. Let's plan to arrive at the drop-off location at 8.
Okay.
And we'll hold a morning meeting and kind of go over a few things. And then we're really going to need to sort of stage this area, so we'll get everything kind of ready. I think it's because it's the first day of camp and people are pretty anxious. I imagine that parents are going to arrive fairly early. Okay. 3 throughout the day, we're going to ask you to regularly clean your spaces, and you will see in your classroom there's a big tub of wipes, and there will be gloves as well. We, I think, normally love to educate kids and ask them to help us with the cleaning. This is not the summer that we want to do that. We just need to make sure that the surfaces are really clean, and we're also using wipes that have, you know, pretty harsh chemicals. And so if you could put on gloves and clean the desks and the chairs and under the desks as well, as thoroughly as possible, just after each transition, I think that will help to keep our spaces really, really clean. And then if you could do that really well at the end of the day also. I'm just on a Zoom call. Okay, will do. We would appreciate that. If you could also empty your trash at the entrance of every building. There are some big trash bins. If you could take the trash, your little trash can in your classroom and just dispose of that in the bigger trash bins, that would be fantastic. And that way our housekeeping staff is not exposed to, you know, we're trying to really limit their exposure, and that will help out with that. The health office has moved, and so if you have worked with us before, it used to be located in the lower school building. Now it's in a more central location. It's in this building 11 in the center of campus, and it's kind of it's going to be kind of in the southeast corner. And Mandy is our health assistant, and with Jeannie, our nurse consultant from Children's Hospital, they go through all of our health records. Mandy, our health assistant, is going to be on campus every day, and we also have a quarantine room. We will make sure that you have her phone number in addition to my phone number and Kim's, and if you need anything, you can contact any of us. That's going to be the best way to communicate. But if there's anybody that's showing any kind of symptoms, we really want to make sure that we contact Mandy, because we're going to call the parents probably immediately and ask them to pick up their child. We just can't take any chances. Just a reminder, staff and kids should wear masks at all times. I think it's going to be difficult for the kids to wear masks, and so as long as they're physically distanced and outside, we can take some regular mask breaks. And I think that'll probably help with that. If you have kids that just are habitually not wearing their masks and it's becoming a challenge, and you're having to remind them all the time, let us know, because that's certainly something that we will call home about. We need to, you know, make sure that the kids are helping us out with it, and it's just not something that we can let go on for too long. And that's where we can contact the parents and get their help. And ultimately, we would love for kids to be able to kind of catch on and stay with us. But if it becomes a battle, then it might not be a good option for them this summer. Let's see. The supervision policies, I feel like our focus has been COVID with everything that we've been doing, but our supervision policies still apply. The ones that we've always used, the rule of 3 is something that we talk about. And basically, we just can't ever have any one-on-one situations. And so that means that at all times, there's at least 2 adults and 1 child, or 2 children and 1 adult. And that just means that everywhere we go, we're always with a group, and that's to protect ourselves, that's to protect the kids. You know, that can be a little bit tricky, I think, with bathroom breaks, but what we do is just sort of, you know, stop at the bathroom at the beginning of the class, and if somebody needs to go to the bathroom, then we just say, you know, we take bathroom breaks as a group. And this year it's a little bit easier anyway, because we really only want 1 child going in a bathroom at a time, just for COVID reasons. And so we can, you know, just kind of stand outside, have the door open, and we just stand in the hallway and let 1 child go into the bathroom at a time. So that's how we want to handle that situation. If you don't have an assistant and you need help throughout the day, if you need to go have a bathroom break and you need for somebody to stay with your kids during that time, call us. We're happy to do that at any time. Let's see. Just looking to see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about today. Staff parking, there are two different options. You can park in this little lot when you enter campus. On the left-hand side, there's a little dirt lot. It's this number 23 on the map. Most of our camps this summer are going to be in Building 10, which is our upper school. And so you can see there's a parking lot just to the right of the Building 10, and you're more than welcome to park there. That might be the easiest spot for you to park to be able to move your items into the building. And just a reminder, I think everybody knows this, but we're not sharing supplies and material this summer, and I think it's really best for each child to have their own little kit of craft materials and whatever else it is. And it's going to take a little bit of creativity, I think, to make that happen. If you can disinfect and sanitize before another child uses it, then that's okay. And I would just, depending on what it is, you can spray it, you can wipe it down with a wipe. But I think the best practice is really just to have enough supplies for each child to use their own. And again, we just need to really make sure that we're physically distancing at all times, and that the kids are wearing the masks, and that the staff is wearing masks as well. Let's see. Kim, is there anything else that you would add?
Just reiterating, if you need anything, to call, and we will help out.
Wonderful. And if you missed the health training the other day, I did record it, and we'll send it out to you in an email, as well as we have a supervision kind of boundaries email or a video that we will send out in an email. And if you could watch that prior to Monday, that would be great. We'll send out the map and as much information as we can, just so you can use it as a handy reference. If you forget, any of this, we do have a large campus. We have fewer transitions than we've had in the past. Everything is much simpler than it has been before, but because of just some of the COVID protocols, everything is just going to be a little bit different. And we just want to make sure, again, that the kids are washing their hands really regularly. And so that's another reason, I think that's another excuse to take regular group bathroom breaks, is okay, it's time to go wash hands. And so in that way, it really makes our supervision policies a little bit easier. But yes, like Kim said, please call us. Everything is different. We're going to be learning a lot on Monday, and we're really going to need to shift and change some things. But we're excited to be at camp, and hopefully everything will go fairly well. If we have a presumptive case or a reported case, we will contact Jefferson County, and they will kind of walk us through, what that looks like. Probably, definitely at least a 24-hour closure, probably more. So just communicate with us as much as possible. If it seems like there's somebody that is sick and has symptoms that is not saying anything, we want to check them out. We want to talk to Mandy and make sure that, we're really exploring that. We're also going to be doing some tracing. I think if we get calls that that campers are sick, we're going to just, really keep track of all of that information. And then if we do have a presumptive or a positive case, then we will be tracing that as well. And our nurse is going to help us. And so really doing everything we can to keep the campus safe. Thank you for working with us this summer. I think it's going to be really awesome for kids to be on campus, and parents are excited about it. And like I said, it's, everything is just so fluid, and we're probably going to make some changes, but this is the plan that we have in place right now. And so let us know if there's something that you need clarification on, or something that you would suggest. We're open to that. We're all working together. Are there any questions? Yes, Doug.
I am doing I just got a couple that if they're more specific to me, just cut me off and I can ask in an email. But with symptoms, could you give us like a hot list of symptoms to look for, so that I am not medically aware?
Yes, absolutely. No, and what I'll do is I'll email you a list, but it's basically if anybody is experiencing chills, a sore throat, fatigue, has a cough is a big one.
Shortness of breath.
Shortness of breath is another one. And so let me send you that complete list. And then also when we send you the self-screening form for you to complete, then that's a good list as well. But yeah, shortness of breath, cough, sore throat, fatigue, some of those. And it's going to be tough because they're so similar to allergy symptoms, right? And kids have runny noses all the time. And so, it's hard to really prepare ourselves for, kind of what that's going to look like. But I think that basically, I think the message is, if kids are experiencing any of those symptoms, we're really hoping that parents will keep them home, and then same thing with staff as well. If we're feeling crummy in any way, even if it's just a little bit, I think it's important that we stay home too. And if you work with, for a vendor, you might talk to them about kind of what the subs, availability of subs is. And we have some subs that we can call on for our teachers. And so you might also kind of think about what a sub plan might look like, if you're not feeling well and we need to pull somebody in to teach your camp. It's a little different than school. So, maybe have kind of a backup plan just in case, and have that readily available. I will also, there's a little video that we created that we're sending home to parents. It's a little animated video that we're hoping they will show their kids, just so that kids feel empowered to kind of, talk about symptoms that they might be experiencing if they're not feeling well. And so it's, it's kind of very kid friendly. And so I'll email that to you as well, so you can watch it. But I think the general message is, if you're not feeling well, and if the kids aren't feeling well, even just the slightest bit, then it's good to probably, just call in. So does that help?
Yes, very much.
Okay, great. You have another question as well?
Yeah, and again, if this is too specific to my situation, just cut me off and I'll ask it at a later time.
It
But
probably
you
benefits
mentioned
everybody, so great.
You mentioned that there are some of us that are doing morning and afternoon camps, and there's a bit of an overlap to the drop off of one and the pickup of the other. Is that going to make it possible for me to be able to clean up the room as you want before my afternoon kids show up, or should I delegate that to somebody, or should I delegate my kids to somebody, or can I pass on cleaning in the afternoon, in the meantime, and do a big clean at the end of the day?
That is a really good question, and I'm glad you brought that up. Why don't we do this? If you have a morning and an afternoon program, let me think about that for just a second.
I'm sorry to add one more thing to your plate there.
No, and like I said, we're all working through this together because it's all so new and it's all happening so quickly. So it's a really great question. I think that we probably, we have some floater counselors that we can use. And so if you could, after the morning session, if you could walk the kids down to the sign out area, we have some counselors that can stay with them until they're signed out, and then can help also sign in the new group, so that you have time to eat a little bit of lunch and also clean and get ready for the next group. How does that sound?
I'll try not to get those two things mixed up.
Yes, please. Yeah, good idea. For your benefit.
I guess the last one, I'm sorry to keep asking questions, is it possible, how late, once all the kids are gone, how late could I stay there to set up for the next day?
As long as you need. I imagine we'll be, we'll be here until probably 5 or 5:30 or so.
Well, that's excellent. I'd only need 15 to 30 minutes at most, just to make sure I'm ready to go for the next day. So that's perfect. Wow, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I imagine you'll need to set up a little bit in the morning. We will have the rooms open by 7 o'clock. Is that early enough to get everything ready? Okay, perfect.
Most definitely.
Great.
If you are running in the morning throughout the week, please give us a call and let us know, so we can arrange somebody to be down there with your kids, just in case traffic is bad or something happens.
That's perfect.
Great. Okay, any other questions? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to working with you next week. And if anything comes up over the weekend, just call us or send us an email, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday. All right, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Jenny.